Hey everyone, Eezore here, and I got some advice on getting the achievement I'm so hardcore in the game, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3. Much like its first version, in the first game, you have to beat the game with a hardcore character. Now, again, you do need to choose the hardcore option in order for your character to be hardcore. So when you first make a character, you have to make sure to get the hardcore option clicked at the very bottom underneath the difficulty. And speaking of difficulty, make sure to play on casual just to kind of give yourself a little bit of breathing room and much needed ease, because this achievement's already a little annoying to get. So I would go with the class Bounty Hunter just because it is ranged, and much like the first one, you do want to do ranged versus melee for hardcore. And honestly, when I was playing on casual with mine, I only almost died once, and that was pretty early on when I was just getting used to the game. So we're going to break it down real quick here, what I would suggest you doing. First off, we're going to talk about Katarina. With Katarina, I would just make her a flat-out tank, so nothing but body points, and then anything you can in order to help make her survive a little bit better, and also make you survive a little bit better. So again, you're going to want the defense one, the transferring damage one, increasing some resistances. That one's not as big of a deal since there are potions that help do that, and also the increased resistances from her is kind of smaller, so I wouldn't really worry too much about that one. Again, though, I would make sure to put, I think I put every single point into her body, and as you can see, she's got over 3,000 hit points. So just make sure to kind of be aware of that. I went with like 27% damage going from me to Katarina. You can do more if you'd like, but that was about the breakoff point. I did the extra damage. I did increased her resistances, so she's stronger, just survives longer. There's a reason I did the increased attack speed, and that comes down to this one, which is she increases her... Every time she hits someone, she gives me 2.75% of my maximum life back. Now, with 1678 hit points and 2.75%, that comes down to about 41 hit points every time she attacks. So that's why I increased her attack speed, because that's a lot of hit points to be healing just always. I would keep an eye on that one. Now, for yourself, I would only put points into dexterity and body. Now, I did one where I did 2 points in dexterity one level, and then alternated 1 point in dexterity, 1 point in body the next level. I did eventually, once I hit over 100 dexterity, start pumping more points into body just so I could get that achievement as well, and also just for added comfort. But honestly, I think 117 is a little needless. I never even got under half health, including killing the last boss. Again, if I would have went a little bit less, that might have been a little more worrisome. So really, it's up to you if you're feeling comfortable with doing that, or if you're feeling comfortable doing less body, more body. It's really up to you. Big thing you want to do here, too, is you're going to want to just watch your stats. I wouldn't worry only about damage or only about healing. I try to get a good combination of the two. There was a couple times where I took a decent hit on DPS just because the protection and hit points were so much higher. But yeah, as you see, I don't have too many set pieces or uniques. This is the only... On my first try, I got hardcore, so I think that it's not that difficult overall. The first game took me 6 attempts, and that was dying in the last hour of the game every single time. So I'd played for 10 to 12 hours. And then died, so just keep an eye on that. Katarina, the only thing you want to do for her is just as much protection and hit points as you can for her. I didn't really worry too much about her DPS just because I wasn't doing it all. So yeah, we're gonna break it down into the skills here real quick. The skills you're gonna want to use is precision shot. Like I don't care what else you do, but the precision shot is where you do all your damage. As you can see, why it's so good is that you can tap it and just shoot, and that does the 870 to 892 damage. Otherwise, you can hold it down, and after 3 seconds, it'll fire the shot, and that's going to be about 7,000 damage, a little above, little below there. That's literally how I killed the final boss. So, as you see here, you can do extra perks on the side here. I did the crit hit chance, the decrease in aim time, which I honestly didn't notice the difference on, and then also the chance for the shots to ricochet. So, that's a big key for those three. Again, I didn't personally notice the aim time lowering, but it must have. I didn't bother trying it ever. I just got it thinking that it would help a lot, and I never noticed the big difference there. So either way, so with the missile vault and the time one, you're going to want to only pick one or the other. I picked both just to try them both out, but ultimately you only need one or the other. I thought missile vault was a little bit better just because you get a backflip and it kind of helps it a little bit more. The time one will work just as well because it stops everything and you can run away, but it's ultimately up to you, whichever one you're more comfortable with. I just put like 1 or 2 points into each of them just so you have an oh crap button, but that's about it. Alright, so I always did the secret bots, and with the secret bots, they lower the vulnerability of the enemy. And reason number 2 is just the fact that they do target them on the map so you can see when things are coming. I almost always had them out all the time. I don't think I'd put the 11 points into it again, because really it's diminishing values for the more damage they take, so it's not really worth it after a couple. But I would definitely pump a couple points in that and use it all the time. The Poison Cloud was amazing. So that one, basically you fire once and it was your AoE hit, but then it also dotted everything that went through the AoE, that got hit by the AoE. So I would make sure to put a lot of points into that one too. That one was really good for crowd control. As you see here, I only did 1 point in the double chance. I should have done all 3, but regardless. One thing I wish I would have put more points into was the battle stance, and that's simply because, especially like towards the end, when I had Katarina such a tank, she would pretty much distract the boss, and then I would just sit there and I would charge up the... I think I actually one-shotted a boss or two, or at least unique mobs. So I wish I would have put more points into that one. I didn't really see its full use until the end when I stopped moving all the time and stopped killing everything all the time. But it definitely was really, really worthwhile. So I'd recommend putting some more extra points onto that one. Just because on top of the increased bonus when you sit there and stand still, you can also get increased fire rate, increased crit hit chance, increased crit hit damage, and a chance to dodge, which I would just ignore. So, but yeah, that's the skills I would use. Primarily precision shot, one of the 2 escape buttons, the seeker bots, and then also the Poison Cloud just for the AoE. 10's pretty good for the AoE. You don't really need more than that, but it's up to you. You could kill them a lot faster, I guess, with that. So as far as auras go, I had the clear shot, which you start off with. I didn't really like it all that much because almost always there's an enemy within that 10 meters. Even with the decreased range of 8 meters, it's still pretty annoying. So I didn't really like that one all that much. I thought the 8 meters would help, but it really didn't. So it was kind of a worthless skill. I did Treasure Hunter just to kind of help find things. I wish I would have done that a little bit sooner. That was the last one I got. I did Rampage because the crit hit damage is nice. Also at level 10 you get a 1% chance to crit hit permanently as long as you're at max rage, which I never use rage, so I'm always at maxed. So the rest of the auras really weren't all that impressive. Honestly, even these weren't all that great, so I mean it's really up to you if you want to use them or not. I didn't find them too beneficial, to be honest, for living or for being really useful for anything. I just wish I would have had 1 more point to get crit hit chance up, which would have been a nice DPS boost. As far as perks go, I made sure that it was anything that had to either increase her hit points or decrease her downtime, so to speak. I did extra ability points and skill points because she's so nice. The max rage ones I do just because I was always at max range, so it made sense. The extra hit points per every time she hits was really nice. Again, I almost never... I think there was one time I got down to half health, and that was pretty early. So the mana hit, the mana cost, if you get that, you pretty much never run out of mana, and I always use the poison shot, so it was a nice little boost. The Slayer and Gunslinger are just extra damage, so that was nice. The Agile was extra dex, and the dodge value is alright, but I just like the damage from the dex. It's kind of the advice I got for you for the I'm So Hardcore achievement. I hope it helps. I found this one to be, like I said, indefinitely easier than the original one, and that kind of comes down to just the fact that it really, not only did I know what I was doing, but also just the fact that it seemed like it was a lot quieter. There wasn't as many oh my god, oh no moments. So hope the video helped you out get the achievement. If it did, leave a comment down below if you have any advice for other people on how to get it. If you did a different build, if there is a better build for doing it, this is the one that I did on my first run through. So if you enjoy other video game related content, that's kind of what I do, so consider subscribing. And in the meantime, I've been Eezore, and thank you all for watching, and don't forget to keep your story going.